What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Predator vs. Wolverine, issue number 3. When we had last left off with Wolverine, he was in the Weapons X facility. They had been experimenting on him, trying to put on the adamantium skeleton. But while this was ongoing, the Predator found him. It broke into the Weapon X facility, and it has finally come to end its prey. But before we dive into this issue, I do want to bring up the fact that most of you probably have seen a little bit of changes with the channel when it comes to the thumbnails, keeping the text inside the comic, and even the title of our videos. After our conversation with Comics Explained, he gave me some tips and pointers, and a lot of those I have started to implement. We're going to test this out, we're going to use it as an experiment, we're going to see how well this works for us. One thing I will be keeping in the title of every single video, it'll be the issue number and the year that comic came out. That way you guys can continue to keep track of where you are exactly and not have to worry about getting lost. I understand that some people, they're not too fond of this idea, but we gotta test things out. We gotta make this channel grow. We gotta figure out the best way to get growth on this channel so we can continue to do what we do day in and day out. I appreciate all of your guys' patience and understanding as we go down this new venture, as we experiment and try to figure out what the best course of action for Comic Breakdown will be. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up in Canada current day. We pick up with Wolverine pinned underneath a giant rock at the bottom of a riverbed. He knows he's in a bad spot. He knows if he doesn't break free, this will be the end. But he's also come to learn his enemy, this creature that has been hunting him. He understands the technology that it is using. You see, Wolverine, he doesn't need all the fancy gear. You could throw him into the wilderness with the clothes on his back, and he would survive. But the Predators, they have become dependent on technology. This doesn't mean that they are not formidable, but sometimes you get a little bit cocky when you have such an advantage. It's the age-old tale of the tortoise and the hare. The hare got too cocky, he thought he could win the race, but through his cockiness, he ends up losing. As Wolverine sits here and bleeds out, he uses that blood to fill up the water, to make the water murky, to make himself invisible. The Predator's mask, it detects heat. Down here in the water, Wolverine is easy to see, but as his warm blood begins to swirl around him, this creates more of a cloud, a heat cloud, making the Predator's visibility almost zero. When he jumps in and tries to take down Wolverine, he finds that Wolverine is gone. He was able to make his escape. This is where we jump into the past, Weapon X facility, and right now the Predator is overlooking everything on the monitors. He is observing what they have been doing to Wolverine. Now, Wolverine doesn't remember much of his time with Weapon X. He was completely zeroed out, filled with adamantium, as the Predator begins to observe Wolverine's body, cutting open the first layers of flesh, exposing the ribs. He sees the adamantium skeleton, but while he is doing this, Wolverine wakes up. His claws come out, and he drives them right into the Predator. But Wolverine is in a very weakened state. He is unable to do more than what he just did. This is when the Predator, it pulls out something from its pocket, a little canister of acid. Pouring this right into Wolverine's mouth, it begins to choke Wolverine. It begins to eat away at all of his flesh, as we see the life fade away from Wolverine. Nothing left over but an adamantium skull. Once the Predator found out that he had been sleeved in adamantium, Wolverine became the ultimate prize, the ultimate trophy. This would be a fine skull to add to his collection. And so he picks up Wolverine and he takes him out of here. He takes him back to his ship, setting Wolverine down on the ground, observing all the other skulls that he had taken as prizes. As the Predator prepares to lift off in his ship, what he was not anticipating was the government coming down on him. Billions and billions and billions of dollars sunk into this project, a breach of security. It was only a matter of time before the cavalry showed up. This is where we have the fighter jets. They are circling this alien ship. Before they get the opportunity to engage, one of them is already shot down. As the Predator lifts off and goes to take off out of the atmosphere, the other fighter jet, it follows behind. He fires every single missile at his disposal, and while it was a direct hit, it wasn't enough to bring the ship down. This is when the berserker rage takes over, the default emotion of Wolverine. His claws come out and he begins to scratch away at the hull. More than likely, those rockets landing on the ship probably provoked him, probably woke him up, but he is able to break out of the ship and he goes falling down to the ground. As he falls through the atmosphere, we see Wolverine burst into flame. Falling like a shooting star, Wolverine lands, creating a huge impact crater. His body lying there smoking, still on fire. When Professor Thornton had got his body, he also found one of the masks of the Predators. Taking this and utilizing it, it helped him improve on some other things, on some ways to control Wolverine. This is what takes us to 1 week ago. Wolverine has spent a lot of time trying to figure out his broken history. He had gone back to the ruins of the Weapon X lab, and what was left behind was the Predator's helmet. Wolverine sets this thing up. He posts it up in the middle of a field and he waits. He waits for his enemy to show up. He has set the trap. After all of these years, he is ready. He is ready to bring this all to an end on his terms. In the wild north, where the only thing that matters in this place, the only law, is tooth and claw. But before we go there, we have to jump back to Japan, the Muramasa estate in the past. Wolverine had come here to train with Muramasa, arguably the best swordsman, the greatest swordsmith in the entire world. He trained day in and day out, never allowing Wolverine to use his claws, letting Wolverine know that the day you need to use your claws, you will be so proficient with a sword, not only would you be able to defeat me, you would be able to defeat legions. But as they practice and as they train, Muramasa gets the scent. Today, Wolverine and Muramasa are going to fight together because the Predator has come for his prey. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely not as action-packed as the other ones, but an interesting addition to Wolverine's history. Really just saying that the Predator was always there, always hunting him. Even when he was at the Weapons X facility, he tried kidnapping him and taking him onto his ship, but that was a failed attempt. Now, I have believed that the Predator was going to simply let him live, and then he would have the ultimate prey to fight against. But it appears that the Predator was taking no chances. He ended him right there on the table, thinking that that would be the end of Wolverine. The only problem, he didn't fully understand Wolverine. He didn't know his powers or abilities, but now he does. This is hands down the ultimate prize, the ultimate trophy to put on his wall. Not only is his skin made of adamantium, but he regenerates. After having his skull, the insides completely dissolved, he still was able to get up to his feet. I doubt the Predators have ever faced a foe so dangerous, so resilient. But now that he has his adamantium skeleton, things are gonna change. The Predator may be a more fierce warrior, better technology, better understanding of the hunt, because this is all they do. But Wolverine is a hunter as well. And there's one thing about Wolverine that we know. He is a man that never gives up. Unfortunately, we only have one more issue left, so that's rather disappointing. Hopefully, we get some more of this story, because man, has this been so much freaking fun. I am thoroughly excited to see Wolverine and Muramasa teaming up to take on a freaking Predator. The two of them together, I don't think a Predator would stand a chance. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as as the top of this video. It is gonna get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping me out tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.